Hey goalies, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking about 5 common money mistakes that keep people stuck. Now, I get it, life has been lifing, and life is going to continue to keep lifing. And it's really easy to let things slide or push them to the side and say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, which turns into next month, which turns into next year. And the next thing you know, you've dug yourself a serious hole that it might be very hard to get out of. Now, here's the thing: a few small tweaks, small steps, and you can start making very big changes and help you lead to long term financial success and stability. Okay. So if you're ready to get your money working for you and not always feeling like you have to play catch up or feeling like you're just always chasing the money, this video is going to be for you. Let's talk about it. Now, before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so you don't miss any of the money tips and tricks that I drop if you're trying to get your life right with money. Let's talk about it. So the first mistake, we're not cutting any corners, we're jumping right into it, is not having a budget. Now, I know, don't look at me like that. I understand. But having a budget is really in the most simplest form, knowing exactly how much money comes in every month and exactly how much money goes out. Now, if you've been watching my videos or seeing some of the things that I've posted some scenarios of things that I have saw people experience. And the reason why they did was because they didn't have a budget to tell them how much money they had. It sounds really good when you make good plans and you are determined to do things. But if you don't know how much money is coming in, or if you have the ability or the capacity to make those payments and do the things, you really kind of putting yourself deeper in a hole, or having you just, like, what I call it, trigger happy transferring, because you transfer to your savings and then you change it right back. A budget is simply a plan for your money. It's so you know what's going on in your wallet. It is a window into your wallet, okay? Instead of having to wonder where your money is going, you will know exactly where it is, because you would have been the person who sent it there, because you will be the person who is in control of your money. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can start in the simplest form with, like I said, knowing exactly how much income you have coming in, and then tracking how much you are spending each month. What bills are you paying? How much are they? A lot of times when you start doing this, you'll also start to realize some companies are overcharging you, because you never look at it to see what they charge. You just pay the bill out of habit, and they've been going up on your price and going up on your price, and you never really realized it. And if you have your bills on auto pay, this is definitely something you want to do. Even though it's on auto pay, make sure you're looking at how much they're charging you so that you don't get overcharged. Okay. Once you do that, you simply make a plan that works for you. You want to create a budget that's based on your personality. And when I say that, I mean, what motivates you? What inspires you? What are the things that will help you continue to keep certain money habits? And if you don't know that answer, that's completely fine. That's what making a budget is about. You'll start that journey and you'll start learning those things, and keep your eyes and ears open to learn those things about yourself. When you start to know exactly what's going on, it gives you a sense of empowerment about your finances. It builds your confidence. It lifts a weight off your chest, because now you know where you are. It's to me, it's life-changing in my personal opinion. But we're going to keep it moving. Number 2, overusing credit cards. Now, we've heard all the gurus, use your credit card like a debit card. We've heard the put all your bills on auto pay on your credit card. And I don't think that either of those are bad suggestions. So before you get ready to start typing, stop typing, take your hands off the keyboard right now. I'm not saying that those are bad suggestions. Those are great tactics. Those are great tips to use. But again, your money has to be based on you. Personal finance is just that. It's personal. So are you disciplined enough that if they are charging all of these bills to your credit card every month, that you're now going paying your minimum payment plus whatever that amount is? Or if you've already paid your credit card down, are you at the very minimum paying off these charges that are being charged to your credit card? Because if you are not, let me tell you, that $50 light bill, you're now paying interest on it. You're now borrowing money to pay your light bill. That don't sound good, does it? You don't want to, I mean, just being funny, but we don't want to have the bills in the first place. We would love to be bill free and go back to being a kid, but the reality is we have them. So if you don't have the discipline to make sure you go and pay off those credit cards, it's not a good idea. That tip wasn't for you, boo. That tip was not going to lead you to financial success because it's actually going to cause you to dig a bigger hole for yourself. And then when it comes to using your credit card as a debit card, the same thing applies. If you are not tracking what you are spending and going and checking so you can make sure you put all of that money back on that credit card, and you're consistently telling yourself, oh, I'll pay it off when I get paid. But every time you get paid, life has already lifed. So now you no longer have that money to put on that credit card. So instead of you paying it off when you got paid, you're now digging an even deeper, bigger hole for yourself, which that just creates a whole nother heap of mess and drama, and it gets even more overwhelming and frustrating. So I'm trying to give you tips that will help minimize the stress as you go through this process. So if you're charging everyday expenses and you're charging them on your credit card, but you only pay the minimum payment, you don't pay those card balances off, you are setting yourself up for trouble. And I mean, I'm going to hold your hand while I say this, but those tips are not for you. Those tips are going to be the basically the nail in your coffin, because yes, you're going to have reward points. You're going to have all of the reward points, but you're also going to have maxed out credit cards, which is going to make your credit score drop, which is going to affect your finances. You see where I'm going with this? So just because it's a good tip does not mean it's a good tip for you. Okay? Moving on to number 3, falling for the comparison trap. We're all on social media. We see these different vloggers and their nice lives and their big cars and different things that they are doing. And to be completely honest, we can't do what we see other people do. I feel how sometimes it puts pressure on you. It's not even necessarily pressure sometimes. It's just the human nature. If I see something really nice that I like, that I've never seen before, I want it. That's just regular human nature. But you have to see if you can afford it. And you can't base your life off of someone else's highlight reel. So when you see influencers and internet personalities, or even your friends posting on social media, not to say that they might not be living very happy lives, they might be living wonderful lives and beautiful lives. My point is that you're not seeing everything. When you see those internet couples online, how often do you see them get into like arguments? You don't, because they typically don't film that. They're not thinking. And it's not that they're trying to hide it. It's just, if I'm in the middle of the argument, the last thing I'm going to think of is, oh, let me pick up the camera and get this shot, babe. I'm not going to think about that. So my point in saying that is, you're not seeing everything. You're not seeing the whole story. They have regular life happen to them just like you do. The next thing I want to point to you is this video is being posted, I believe, November 13th. I'm recording it now, October 3rd. So a lot of things you are seeing online are not live and happening at that moment. As content creators and social media people, we plan out content. We schedule content. So the time that you are seeing it might not be when we really recorded it. So it's even more reason why you can't use it to compare yourself to. You don't even know. Like when you see the videos of people just getting out of bed, you know they set their camera up to do that, because unless they just recorded themselves sleeping from the night before. So it's like you have to separate that from you. That's for them. That doesn't mean it's necessarily for you. You want to seek out the things that your wallet can afford and that aligns with your goals. That's what you want to do. You want to seek out the things that align with your goals. And you can't use seeing someone do this and now you're comparing yourself to them. Now you're feeling less than, or you have shiny object syndrome that you feel like you have to get this. And if you don't get this, then what you have is not good enough. And we go through this full on cycle that's just not good for us. Okay. Social media has not brainwashed, but got us to believing and thinking that we need the latest gadget and we have to have the latest clothes and take all the vacations. But chasing what other people have, that's a great way to start overspending and building up a lot of debt and getting yourself in some trouble. So ask yourself, is the purchase going to add value to your life? And more importantly, is it going to help you reach your goals? So I always tell my clients and customers, think with the end in mind. So I know they say, do I need it? Do I want it? Is it essential? Is it not essential? I know they tell you to ask yourself those questions. So yes, ask yourself your question. Ask yourself those questions. But also ask yourself, how does this fit into my goals? How does this align with where I'm trying to get? And if the answer is no, it doesn't align, then no, you shouldn't make that purchase. I need you to rethink it. Okay? Moving right along. Understanding the power of starting small. So a lot of times people think that in order to invest or save, that you have to start with these large amounts. And so they put off starting because they think that they're not able to. They think it's not possible for them. They think it's not something that's attainable for them. And I'm here to tell you that it is. 3 things along your financial journey that will always benefit from you starting small is paying off debt, investing, and saving money. Those 3 things will always benefit from you starting small. And let me tell you why. Because the bigger goal is to be consistent, not to start big. You can start big and then fall off. What you really want to strive to do is just be consistent. And even if that consistent looks like $5, $20, when I paid off my $57,000 that I paid off in debt, and those of you watching this who have been in my Facebook group since that time, I posted and shared with everybody, I made $5 payments to my car note. But guess what? It wasn't just the $5 that was applied. It also saved me interest along the life of the loan. So I paid more than $5 essentially off my loan because I saved myself some interest. So think about it in the sense of, it's okay that I start small as long as I just keep showing up for myself. I think that this is important because we automatically talk ourselves out of things that we deserve and we desire. And I think that we are worthy of those things. We are worthy of having full emergency funds and big bank accounts and brokerage accounts. We are worthy of not having debt. We're worthy of not being held down and hunkered down by debt. You're worthy of that. But small amounts are always going to add up as long as you are consistently adding them. Okay. Last but not least is not prioritizing savings. I feel like this is a conversation I've had many times. I've talked with a lot of my customers and they don't see the need to save. They feel like savings is just aimlessly putting money away. It has no goal. It has no purpose. I'm just putting it away just in case. And unfortunately, that could be so much further from the truth. Savings are your seed money to wealth. And what I mean by that is typically whatever wealth you are looking to achieve, you have to plant those seeds. Savings are some of those seeds. You got to put the work, the action, the discipline, the consistency, but savings is going to get you there. You need the education, but savings will be needed also. And let me explain. Savings are needed if you want professional development, if you want to start investing, when you want to purchase a house, when you want to start a business. Those are 4 examples of when you will need some money to get started. And what better place to have that money sitting than in a savings, or rather a high yield savings, earning money so that you can start investing. So it's like you don't have to say, oh, I want to start investing, I have to wait till I get some money. You want to have that money available while that momentum is there so you can get started. Okay? So I want you to think about how foregoing savings can affect you. So, one of the things is not having an emergency fund. So, let's just say you're on your debt repayment journey. You just paid off your first credit card. And so you're celebrating, your chest sticking out, you're feeling really good. And then now your car won't start. You figure out it's an alternator or a starter or whatever the problem is, but you don't have an emergency fund. So now you have to go use that same credit card that you just paid off. Now you have to use that same credit card to go pay for your car because you know you need your car. You know you have to get it fixed. You need it to get back and forth to work. You need it to pick up the kids. You need it to do the things that you know you need to do. So you can't afford to not get the car fixed. But now you have to go charge on the same credit card you just celebrated paying off. This can cause a huge derailment of your financial goal because it's disheartening, it's discouraging, and it can make you feel like, well, what's the point of all of this anyway? And the reality is, life, just because you decided that you wanted to do better and you wanted to get your life right with money, nobody said life was going to stop. Nobody said that things weren't going to continue happening. And that's why you need the saving to be prepared when those things happen, because you can't control them not happening. Okay? So treat your savings like a bill. Most people, they will put money to the side once they have money left after their bills. Put money to savings first, and then set a certain amount, automate it, and set it and forget it. You typically want to have your savings in a separate account from your checking account or your account that you use for spending and bills. You typically want to have your savings account, honestly, at a different bank account. I highly recommend a high yield savings account. Feel free to research it. If you want me to make a video about high yield savings account, feel free to drop that in the comments. And then I'll make a video about it to educate you on different kinds. And maybe I'll do some reviews of different high yield savings accounts. Okay. If you struggle with consistently putting your savings, automating it is the way to go. Like I said, pick a certain amount. Even if you start with $10, $20, $25, send that money over to that other account and leave it there. And you will be surprised how quickly it actually starts to grow. And you'll have hundreds like, oh, wow, because you have to forget about it and forget it exists. Okay. All right, goalies. That was 5 common mistakes that I see all the time. And more importantly, ways how you can fix them. Okay. So remember, it's all about taking small steps. It's all about creating micro goals, creating goals that are digestible, attainable, and helps you take control of your process. Okay. These goals help you actually take the necessary steps towards your financial goals, but at a rate that you can grasp and really, feel like you're making progress. All right. So you don't have to do some big grand gesture or wait until you can. I don't want you to put it off. If this is something you want for yourself, start now. Okay. If you found any of these tips helpful, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And I want to make sure that you are doing what you need to work on your finances and you're doing something every day to invest in yourself. So I'll catch you on the next video.